The Brink's mat robbery remains a haunting mystery, echoing through the decades as one of the most audacious crimes in British history. In the early hours of November 26, 1983, a gang of armed men stormed a supposedly secure warehouse near Heathrow Airport, expecting to find cash. Instead, they stumbled upon a fortune in gold bullion, over 3 tons of it, along with platinum and diamonds. With most of the stolen gold never found, the fate of the treasure has become the stuff of legend, fueling endless speculation and conspiracy theories. This tale of a vanished fortune is a saga of greed, betrayal, and deadly consequences that would ripple through the criminal underworld for years to come. The gold, worth over 100 million today, vanished into the shadows, quickly laundered and melted down, making it nearly impossible to trace. The heist sparked a massive police investigation, one of the largest in British history, as authorities scrambled to recover the loot and bring the culprits to justice. Dubbed the Brink's mat curse, the aftermath was marked by violence, double crosses, and a string of mysterious deaths as those involved tried to keep their secrets buried. The thieves had unwittingly uncovered a treasure trove far beyond their wildest expectations, but with it came a burden that would haunt them forever. Converting this gold into cash became their undoing, as laundering such a vast fortune required the help of sophisticated criminal networks and corrupt financiers. The operation entangled them with a web of gangsters, money launderers, and even legitimate businessmen, blurring the lines between the underworld and the financial elite. The stolen gold seeped into the economy, fueling not only organized crime but also London's booming property market and the rise of the drug trade. Lavish homes, new developments, and illicit fortunes were built on the back of the Brink's mat gold, leaving a legacy that still lingers in the city today. The Brink's mat heist endures as a tale of the perfect crime that spiraled into chaos, forever changing the face of British crime and leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. Every heist needs a key, not just a physical one, but a person who can unlock doors that would otherwise remain sealed. In the world of high-stakes crime, the inside man is often the most valuable asset, the one who can turn an impossible job into a tantalizing opportunity. For the infamous Brink's mat robbery, that key was Anthony Black, a seemingly ordinary security guard with a secret life and dangerous connections. Black was trusted by his employers, but behind the uniform he was entangled with some of London's most notorious criminals. His link to Brian Robinson, a seasoned and feared robber, drew him into a world far removed from his daily routine. Black's double life was about to collide with destiny. Black provided the gang with crucial details, alarm codes, shift patterns, and the vulnerabilities of the warehouse. Without his information, the plan would have been little more than a fantasy. The plan, masterminded by Robinson and his ruthless partner Mickey McAvoy, was to break in and steal what they believed to be £3 million in cash, a life-changing sum for any criminal. Black's inside knowledge was the gang's secret weapon. He fed them information on security protocols, guard routines, and even the best time to strike, making him indispensable to the operation. The robbers meticulously planned every detail, poring over blueprints, memorizing guard schedules, and rehearsing their moves. They left nothing to chance, determined to pull off the perfect crime. Black's role was pivotal, not just for his information, but for the confidence he inspired in the crew. With an insider on their side, the gang believed their plan was foolproof. They chose to strike during the early morning shift change, a time when the warehouse was at its most vulnerable and the risk of resistance was at its lowest. The plan was designed to be quick and efficient, relying on speed and surprise to avoid confrontation and get in and out before anyone could react. But as the gang broke into the vault, they were met with a sight none of them had expected. 3 tons of gold bullion, gleaming in the dim light, far more valuable than any cash. The gang's confidence quickly turned to disbelief and awe. What was meant to be a simple cash grab had suddenly become the score of a lifetime, but also a logistical nightmare. Moving that much gold was a monumental challenge. The sheer weight and volume of their unexpected haul threatened to unravel their carefully laid plans. In that moment, the gang realized they were no longer just thieves, they were now custodians of a king's ransom, facing a new set of risks and decisions that would change their lives forever. On November 26, 1983, A yellow van arrived at Brink's Mat Depot carrying 6 masked men. Led by Mickey McAvoy, they posed as security, ready to execute their plan. Inside, Anthony Black played his part, vouching for the robbers. The guards, deceived by Black's presence, let them in, triggering the heist. The robbers stormed in, rounding up the guards, including Black, to maintain his cover. Under threat, a guard revealed the vault combination, leading to the treasure. Instead of cash, they found boxes of gold bullion, a staggering discovery. The gang stood in awe, realizing their heist had escalated beyond imagination. They were no longer robbers. They were guardians of a fortune. The heist had transformed into a monumental challenge. The sight of gold paralyzed the gang, their breath catching as the reality of their target shimmered before them. For a moment, even the most hardened among them hesitated, awestruck by the sheer scale of the fortune they were about to steal. But the fantasy of easy riches quickly gave way to panic as they realized they were utterly unprepared for the logistical nightmare of moving 3 tons of bullion. The gold was far heavier and more cumbersome than they had imagined, each bar a physical reminder of the challenge ahead. McAvoy and Robinson, the gang's leaders, quickly adapted, barking orders and improvising a new plan on the spot. Every second counted, and indecision could mean disaster. They forced the terrified guards to help load the gold onto trolleys, turning their hostages into unwilling accomplices. The atmosphere was electric with tension, every movement watched, every sound amplified by fear. With every passing minute, the risk of discovery grew. The guards, pale and shaking, complied with every command, fearing for their lives and the lives of their colleagues. The robbers worked feverishly against the clock, glancing nervously at their watches, knowing that any delay could bring the police crashing through the doors. The trolleys groaned under the immense weight, wheels squealing as they strained to carry the unimaginable load. Every trip from the vault to the van felt like an eternity. It took over an hour to load the van, a painstaking process that tested nerves and patience. Alongside the gold, they packed platinum and diamonds, grabbing whatever they could. But even then, they were forced to leave behind a fortune. There simply wasn't enough time or space. The overloaded van, its rear sagging under the weight, was a glaring red flag, an obvious sign that something extraordinary was happening inside the warehouse. But the gang pressed on, preparing for their escape. They left the guards handcuffed and helpless, issuing stern warnings not to raise the alarm. With a final threat echoing in the vault, the gang piled into the van and sped away, leaving chaos and fear in their wake. They carried a fortune that would not only change their own lives, but would send shockwaves through the criminal underworld and law enforcement alike. The heist was complete, but the consequences were only just beginning to unfold. The gold was theirs, but so was the burden of what came next. Hiding, transporting and laundering such a massive haul would prove to be a challenge unlike any they had faced before. Now every decision would be critical. The gold was both a prize and a curse, a treasure that could bring unimaginable wealth or ruin. As the van disappeared into the night, the gang's fate hung in the balance. The escape marked the start of a new perilous chapter in their criminal saga, one that would test their loyalty, cunning and nerve to the very limit. The escape was audacious, with the overloaded van groaning under the weight of gold. Navigating West London, they reached a safe house, realizing the daunting task ahead. The gold, stamped and traceable, was useless in its current form. They needed specialists to transform it into untraceable cash. Mistrust brewed over the division of spoils, with McAvoy controlling distribution. The bulk of the gold remained a collective problem, needing quick movement. The police investigation would be relentless, and they had to act fast. The story shifted from robbery to a complex saga of money laundering. They reached out to underworld figures, leading to Kenneth Noy. Involving Noy set off a chain of events leading to betrayal and murder. Laundering the Brink's mat, gold fell to a sophisticated criminal network led by Kenneth Noy. Noy's plan was to smelt the gold, mixing it with copper to disguise its origin. In a makeshift smelter, the gold was melted, erasing its traceable marks. The alloy was recast into new ingots, ready for the legitimate market. Noy and associates sold the disguised gold through front companies and jewelers. John Palmer, nicknamed Goldfinger, played a key role in selling the gold. The cash was laundered through offshore accounts, eluding police. The operation was massive, generating millions in clean cash. The police struggled to trace the gold, as the laundering network was intricate. For a time, it seemed the criminals had succeeded. Operation Midas was a massive police investigation into the Brink's Mat heist. Anthony Black, the inside man, became the prime suspect, leading to arrests. Under pressure, Black confessed, implicating McAvoy and Robinson. Their trial and conviction were victories, but the gold remained missing. The investigation shifted to the launderers, focusing on Kenneth Noy. Surveillance of Noy's estate confirmed suspicions of gold smelting. Detective John Fordham's death during surveillance put Noy in the spotlight. Noy was acquitted of murder but later convicted for handling stolen gold. His conviction was a blow to the laundering network, but the curse persisted. The hunt for the missing millions continued, with the curse far from over. The Brink's Mat heist is infamous for the violence and death that followed. The Brink's Mat curse describes the grim fates of those connected to the crime. Trust evaporated, and disputes were settled with violence. At least 20 people linked to the heist met violent ends. The curse showed that no one was safe, with new rivalries and power struggles. John Palmer, a key figure, was murdered in 2015, his death unsolved. The curse serves as a dark moral, with the gold poisoning everyone it touched. The dream of a perfect crime dissolved into paranoia and murder. The gold corrupted criminals and the financial system they infiltrated. The Brink's Mat heist's violence is a testament to greed's destructive power. The Brink's Mat robbery is a landmark crime in British history. It exposed security vulnerabilities and linked street criminals to financiers. The heist bridged armed robbery and modern money laundering. The laundering operation was unprecedented, pumping millions into the economy. The legacy is seen in London's Docklands and drug trafficking networks. The crime capitalized the European criminal underworld for years. The robbers found gold instead of cash, leading to an ingenious laundering scheme. The Brink's Mat curse claimed lives, with the gold never fully recovered. It's a story of greed, ingenuity, and uncontrollable consequences. The Brink's Mat heist is a gripping journey into the criminal underworld.